X-Men Apocalypse is the second newest film in the X-Men movie franchise, and it is the follow-up to X-Men Days of Future Past. If you saw my review of X-Men Days of Future Past, you know that I really liked X-Men Days of Future Past. X-Men Apocalypse is the sequel to First Class, yet it's the movie after Days of Future Past. This takes place in the 80s, and it pretty much follows up the First Class cast. This movie does a lot right to me. It brings in a new generation of Cyclops, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, Storm, and a lot of the original X-Men. It brings in a lot of the original characters with different actors, which I think is a good idea because one of the things that I always had a problem with the original X-Men was that the X-Men were never teenagers. They were never, young. They were always adults. And I prefer them now that they're actually teenagers. It fits the timeline a bit more. I think all of the new cast portray the characters really good. Every actor, if they did not stand out, they passed. They didn't. There was no bad acting in this movie, I would say. We also got introduced to a lot of new characters. We got introduced to Psylocke, which she was pretty cool to see on screen. She didn't do much, but hey, better than her role in X-Men 3, The Last Stand. We also got introduced to Angel. I don't really count his appearance in X-Men 3 as an actual appearance of Angel. I prefer this version. He actually does something and he becomes Archangel. And we also get Apocalypse, the villain Apocalypse. He got teased at the end of Days of Future Past. Now we actually get him in the movie. He is disappointing, I will say. He's just not what I expected him to be. Just because he's just a stereotypical superhero villain. He just wants to destroy the world because he's evil. That's pretty much it. He doesn't really have any real motives. He just wants to destroy the world and rebuild a new one with him, with only the strongest surviving. Yeah, pretty much a stereotypical movie villain. This movie had again from this new cast. The major standouts were Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy. Michael Fassbender did an amazing job in this movie, especially in the whole scene in the woods where his daughter dies, who may or may not be Scarlet Witch. If she is, then she's dead in this universe. The Quicksilver scene in this movie was way better than the one in Days of Future Past. Um, we got a lot. This one, if you're a fan of the X Men comics or the X Men TV show, the animated TV show, you will like this movie because it feels a lot like that. You get the interactions with the characters. You get a little bit of the family dynamic between the family members in this movie, and it's a great introduction to what is to come. I love that they didn't rush the whole Dark Phoenix thing. They didn't rush the whole relationship between Cyclops and Jean Grey. You saw little seeds of it, but it didn't really grow. You saw the dynamic between this new generation of X-Men cast. And one of the things I didn't like in this movie was Mystique. Jennifer Lawrence was completely just out of this movie. She just didn't want to be in it. You could tell by her performance. Her weakest performance so far as Mystique. I said before, Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse, he did okay, but I just think the character of Apocalypse himself was kind of pointless and very by the book. And this movie, compared to X-Men Days of Future Past and First Class, is just really disappointing to me. It doesn't have that same weight that the other two had. Don't get me wrong, I had some fun in this movie. I enjoyed the movie. The last 30 minutes were really bittersweet for me. But the movie I like it. I know a lot of people hate this movie, but I actually like it. And I can't wait to see what they do with the new X-Men in the new movies. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna give this movie a 7 out of 10. Not the best X-Men movie, but definitely not the worst. What do you guys think of this movie? Comment below, let me know. And as always, check out my reviews of the other X-Men movies. And check out for my long-awaited review of Logan tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, may the force be with you.